Welcome to the Baynet's Countdown to November, a series of interviews with the candidates in the November 4th general election. I'm Dick Myers, and with me for this segment is Democratic candidate for the Maryland House of Delegates for District 29A, Dan Slade. His opponent is Republican Matt Morgan. Mr. Morgan will mentioned.
That's true.
Really. He almost 30 years, I believe, 28, 29, something like that.
28 years.
And he was always considered to be one of the more conservative delegates in the Democratic caucus. So, are you philosophically aligned with him, do you believe?
I am. I'm a very conservative Democrat. I'm a fiscal conservative, and I'm a moderate to conservative on social issues. So I think we mesh our philosophies mesh pretty well, Delegate Woods and mine.
How do you think he was so successful for so long?
Well, I think he was honest with people. He listened. He went up there and he listened to what the other jurisdictions had to say, and he spoke from the heart. He actually spoke what his constituents had to say, not what the party wanted him to say, but what the people said. So I think that's why he was so successful for so many years.
So this is your first crack at public office. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name's Dan Slade. I'm 41 years old. I'm married. I'm the father of 3 beautiful children, Maddie, Joy, and Tiger. I'm a lifelong resident of St. Mary's County. I was educated here, raised here, and after grad school and law school, I came back home to start up my own business. My wife Mary and I also have real estate investments in the county, and we're fully invested in the future of this county. Not only have I been here actively in the legal field and in my businesses, but I've been active in civic organizations. I'm a member of the Lions Club, the Optimist. I was a past member of the Rotary and the Knights of Columbus. I've also been active in helping out the community in other ways. I helped form and start the St. Mary's County Teen Court, and I was its first president of the board of directors, and I had the honor and privilege of being the first judge. I've been involved at Greenwell State Park and Helping Hands Hospice. I was the president of the board of directors of the Marcy House here locally, and just trying to make this place a better place for not only myself and my family, but for everybody. Just make it the best community we can have.
I know you're not emphasizing it, and you're actually one of 2 candidates who is running for office whose father had actually held the same office. Has that, coming from a political family, has that influenced you?
No, absolutely. When I was a young boy, my father told us if you want to have a great community, you have to get involved. And you just can't sit on the sidelines. You actually have to actively participate and getting involved to make sure that we have the best community possible. And I've been doing that since I was a child. I mean, my gosh, every church dinner, my mom started Helping Hands, and just been very fortunate through my life, and I got to watch my mom and my dad show us, and my brother and sister and I, just the values of getting involved in the community.
Is being a lawyer helpful in being in the General Assembly?
Oh, absolutely. Being a lawyer, everyone always says, "Oh, you're a lawyer." Well, yes. I mean, when you're in the General Assembly or legislature, you actually write legislation, and every day I read and interpret laws. Every day I'm on the phone talking to state agencies and bureaucracies and dealing with regulations for clients. So I think it would be a tremendous asset in the legislature to actually be able to read and understand what the law says, and be able to read and understand, if we implement the law this way, how it's going to impact the people.
This may be a little bit too early to tell, but have you thought about bills that you would like to introduce, subject areas that you'd like to get involved with?
Well, lately we've had to deal with the Board of Education issue with the budget shortfall and the finding a surplus, and then with our superintendent leaving. One of the bills I'd probably introduce right off the bat would be a piece of legislation would be to make the exempt employees, like the next superintendent, after they discuss and hire the next superintendent, to disclose what their contract will be. So there's more transparency, so the citizens know, hey, what are we paying this man or this woman to help educate our kids? Mm-hmm. So everyone can see that exactly what he's getting, what his compensation package is. Mm-hmm. Right now, you can't do that, and I think a piece of legislation that would be very helpful would be just to show transparency.
Another issue that's floating around a lot is the Metropolitan Commission and its governance, and there has been suggestions from some quarters that be changed, that perhaps it needs to be wrapped back into the county commissioners. Do you have any comments on that or any thoughts on that?
Well, that would be something we'd have to have a lot of public debate on. And again, that's a creature of legislation.
It is.
And people don't realize that. That was written in the books many years ago. Senator Raley, who started the Metropolitan Commission. Look, what we have to do on the Metropolitan Commission is, one, we have to update the legislation. We have to rewrite it. It's just outdated, and it needs to be rewritten. Two, we have to determine whether we keep it as an independent agency or we bring it under the county. And again, that's not for me to decide. That's for maybe me to put my input in at the right time, but that is for public debate and for the people to decide.
Okay. Obviously, some issues out there relate to infrastructure. Everybody says we need a new Thomas Johnson Bridge. What I've heard some people say lately is, well, expected in 20 years. Do you think is that realistic, or is there a hope that if somebody can get up there and actually maybe do it quicker?
Well, the goal is to get it done quicker. I mean, we can't wait 20 years. We have to fight for our fair share of the transportation fund, and that is a priority. The Pax River is the second largest economic driver in the state of Maryland. People don't understand that, I don't think, fully in Annapolis, and we have to go up there and explain it to them. And part of keeping Pax River healthy and part of being able to diversify our economy and keeping our local economy healthy ourselves is we need a new Thomas Johnson Bridge. We need a new bridge.
There is a amendment on the ballot relating to that, is there not?
There is. You're talking about the lockbox amendment?
Yeah.
Well, the transportation fund, the popular word is it's rated. What we have on the ballot, which I'm going to support, and I'd urge other people to support, is what's known as a constitutional lockbox, whereby it would take a supermajority of the Maryland House and Senate to vote to approve to take funds out of the transportation fund. And my theory there is we shouldn't take money out of the transportation fund. We should have it earmarked and keep it in there for transportation issues. That way we can get a new bridge, Thomas Johnson Bridge. We can replace the bridge. We can invest in our infrastructure because we need to. It's starting to crumble. Our roads are terrible, and we need to make sure we have the best roads possible. But again, I'm for the amendment.
You said earlier that you were more moderate on social issues. Do you agree with a lot of the changes that have been effected during the O'Malley administration, same-sex marriage, gun control, the whole range of issues that have been passed during the O'Malley administration?
Well, I would have voted against the gun control bill. I'm a firm believer in the United States Second Amendment and the Constitution. Again, as a lawyer, we're sworn to uphold and do what we think is right under the Constitution. I believe if you want to own a gun, you should have the right to own a gun. If you don't want to own a gun, you don't have to own a gun. I think you can forfeit that right if you're a violent criminal, and I'm all for taking guns away from criminals and keeping them in the hands of good citizens. On the same-sex marriage, I would have voted against it. I have friends who are gay. I have friends who've gotten married, and they're still my friends, and I still care for them, but I was raised Catholic, so that just goes against what I personally believe. The other issue is the marijuana issue. The
I was going to bring that up. As a lawyer, you probably see that every day.
I see it every day. Now, I personally believe on the marijuana issue that, hey, you're an American citizen, you're a good person, whatever you do in your home is your business. I am all for that. Don't care. As long as you're not hurting yourself or anyone else, it's your life. You can do what you want to do. Now, being a lawyer, I got to see over the last 14 years the slippery slope. I've gotten to see kids who have never been in trouble before in their life start with marijuana, and everyone says, oh, it's not the gateway drug. Well, I believe it is. And I've seen a lot of lives ruined, not only the children's lives, but the families' lives. And then it escalates from marijuana to pills and other things, and then you see the victims of crimes. So I'm against the decriminalization of marijuana. It's on the books. It was a poorly written law, and if if I get the opportunity to go up there, I'm going to try to fix the law.
You talked about your involvement in drug court, and there's a lot of discussion in the community about the growing opiate addiction problem.
Oh, it's terrible.
Are there legislative remedies within that problem?
Well, again, that issue is twofold. Everyone says build more prisons. You know, if you're a criminal, you're going to prison. You're going to jail. No ifs, ands, or buts. Okay. But what we also have to focus in on, it's also a public health and safety issue. You know, legislation. We had one of the best, it was the best halfway house in the state of Maryland, known as the Marcy House. I was the president of the board of directors for 5 years. It was a great honor. It was a great privilege, and I learned a tremendous amount about addiction and recovery. And we need to invest to save our children, because it's our kids that are dying. These kids aren't just getting hooked and ruining their lives, they're actually dying. I lost 11 clients in 1 year.
Wow.
It's amazing. And we need to get the help for them. We need to educate the public. We need to educate parents. Hey, this is what you got to look for. And we need to get the resources down here, because this is probably the worst area for heroin in the state of Maryland per capita. We need to get the resources down here where we could protect our children.
Switching gears a little bit, is there anything that the legislature can do to protect Pax River?
Absolutely. One is transportation. We need to, again, work on the bridge. We need to take away traffic off 235 through the feeder roads. But more importantly, we need to work with the local commissioners, and we need to work with Congress to diversify our economy. We're in a phenomenal position here, and I don't think people really appreciate the position we're in with Pax River. We're blessed to have some of the most intelligent, skilled labor force on the planet here. And what we need to do is we need to take this unmanned aerial vehicles, and we need to make those commercial vehicles. We commercialize it, bring it from the military aspect to the civilian aspect, and we need to really develop that. Not only is it going to help us here, keep great jobs here, but we're always worrying about the next BRAC. We're always worried about the next furloughs. You know, we don't have to worry about losing jobs up in D.C. at the Pentagon or Northern Virginia or other bases. If we can develop that here, instead of driving north and taking commuter buses north, they can drive south to Pax River and the areas around it, so we can keep our economy booming here. Not only for us, but my God, for our kids. Give them careers. Not just a job where they're making minimum wage, but I'm talking about a skilled career that they could enjoy life here instead of moving away to get a great job. They can get that career here and retire here.
Is it too late to do anything about the wind turbine issue?
No, I think the wind turbine issue is going to be dead. I think they're going to do the right thing in Annapolis. It was very disappointing to see Governor Malley put his personal gain first, and that's the way I look at it. Again, the number 2 economic driver in the state of Maryland, and he put it in jeopardy. And so I think Congress is going to take care of that. If they don't, the next legislative session, we will. I can guarantee you that.
A lot of Democrats are running away from Governor O'Malley this time. Are you one of them? I haven't heard one in St. Mary's County support.
Well, I'll just say this: I'm a very conservative Democrat. I consider myself a St. Mary's County Democrat, and I don't think I left the party. I think the party has gone away from us. And we just need to bring it back to the center where it should be. I think that's where a majority of the citizens are, and we need to go from the left to be a more moderate position in the center. And I like to think I'd bring a rational, reasonable, articulate voice to that discussion up in Annapolis, so we can go from being they call it progressive, I call it liberal, to a more moderate position in the state.
As we're doing this interview, we're getting very close to early voting, and the general election is 2 weeks away. Are there things that people can do to help your campaign at this last minute?
Oh, absolutely.
Are you looking for help?
We need all the help we can get to spread the word. We need volunteers to come and help us work at the polls. We have a tremendous team behind us, and it's not me. It's a we project, and a lot of family and friends. And we could use all the help we can get to spread the word. Check out the website and Facebook account. And again, this is a very important time in our history in the state of Maryland. We live in a great state. We live in a fantastic community in St. Mary's County. But we're overspending, which is creating over taxation. And we need to get the word out there that it's a community issue. It's not just one party or the other issue. It's an issue for all of us, and we need to spread the word, to get moderate and like-minded people up there. Again, I'm a fiscal conservative, so to me that's the biggest issue we got to deal with.
So to get to your website and your Facebook, just type in Dan Slade.
You can put Dan Slade for delegate or hashtag Slade, the numeral 4 in delegate, and it'll come up.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Myers.
Thank
Pleasure.
you. And thank you for joining us on this segment of Countdown to November.